Wow, does that look that bad on the screen? Is it flickering again? Anyway, some of you guys reached out and wanted to see more of these floor pans, so I'm going to kind of do it in short form, just to keep you in the loop of what's going on here. So let me show you where we're at for the rear. I'm kind of I was shaping this piece of paper here for this upper edge along here, and then I took a lot of measurements and so on and so forth, and I got my pan piece here, and also I've got one of these contour gauges that has helped quite a bit. This shape here correlates to this brace down here kind of going around it. So anyway, using measurements and so on and so forth, we've got our holy smokes, Bob, use your brain today. Nope, not gonna happen. It's Friday night. We've got our step here. We measured out all of these lines and rolled all those. This line here represents the width of our pan, and then I've got this roughly put in up here, and then this end is kind of whatever, and same with this end, and this whole edge there's a ton of extra over here. So what I'm planning to do, whether or not this is going to work right, so here's our stepped edge along here. What I'd like to do is get up into here and just cut and butt it along this side, over there, wherever it lands up here. We're gonna probably, there's a brace that comes up across, so I don't know, we might come across like right here ish, come back, we're gonna come around this and actually just weld this brace is actually sitting on top of this floor, so we're probably just going to cut around this and figure it out from there. We might put our new floor on top of this and weld it to the brace, because this brace is going in, this support is going into the brace underneath it, so we're not going to be able to get the floor out from underneath unless we cut this brace off like we had to do up there. But this is in good shape and I don't want to screw with it. So that being said, you can basically see the water line where water used to sit in this car, and that's why everything's rotted out so bad. This ledge actually isn't in that bad a shape, but you can see right here it's dented, and over here it's blown through, and there's another dent here. So we're just going to eliminate on that. And what I might have to do, since this step is a 1/2 inch instead of a 1/4 inch like what we have rolled into the pan, is when we get to that back corner, which would be here, I might just cut this so this piece can fold up to follow that contour, and then we'll just have to cut a filler piece to weld in there. Yeah, so anyway, that's kind of where we're at so far, and this curve obviously is up where the front seat's going to be, and then we'll just run this across. We might just use this edge, what we already have, for our line. But yeah, I'm getting better with the bead roller a little bit. These contour gauges have really helped, especially finding this shape here and that brace, that that upright. And then I've got a stretcher and a shrinker set up over here that I've kind of been fooling around a little bit with. So I'm thinking that might help us out up along that tranny tunnel right here, if I can stretch this metal or shrink it or whatever to help get a shape. You can see the contour in that just from stretching it, so that could potentially help. So just kind of dinking around, slowly but surely plugging away, and you know, I'll kind of update you with monumentous moments, I reckon. All right, guys, well, we're working away down here, and I busted out the shrinker and stretcher, and basically I stretched this corner here, and you can almost see the shape is about right. It just needs to all shift this way, which is fine because we're tight here. This whole side needs to come up a little bit, and that'll bring this whole pan over this way. Kind of got this side ish, give or take, kind of shaped about how I want it to be, but I have not cut the old pan out. I don't know if you guys probably can't see that, but this ridge is fairly close to the one down underneath. The other one down there kind of angles a little bit at the bottom, or at the back here. But like I said, we're gonna have to cut this to get this side to come up and the back of the pan to drop. But yeah, I mean, that is substantially better than what I thought doing the front pan. For those of you here that haven't seen that one, you can go back and watch the video on doing this front section. But anyways, stretching this brought this metal in so that it started the curve up, and then I was able to just easily take pliers and just kind of finish that curve. That way I can bend this side up too without wrinkling this corner, if that makes sense. Same with this side. We're gonna have to do some more stretching down this to start this coming up, and then we should be okay to finish that out. But we're learning, you know, we're doing some learning. I've never used the shrinker and stretcher yet, so I just kind of was messing around with it, and it's doing what it says it's gonna do. And then obviously this gap here, when I get this bent up and this pan comes this way, that's going to tighten that up. This front side up here isn't too far off where I want it. I'm trying to get this pan lined up where I want it to be first, and then we'll cut most of that bottom floor, but we're going to leave like an inch or two gap like around the outside that pan's going to overlay. And then we'll tack it along that, and then we'll come back and we'll cut those tacks and the steel on the back side as we're retacking it. So essentially we're cutting away the steel behind it while we're adding the steel in front, but you can butt it all up. My brother actually sent me to this guy's YouTube channel that he shows how to do it. Wish I could remember his name. I'd give him a shout out. I think he's up north there, eh? You know, up where the walleye are. You know, if you ever want to go walleye fishing, you just got to go up off the point up there, you know, up north there, eh? And you got to put the trolling motor on the boat there. And then you can just, you know. But anyway, he's a sheet metal wizard. And he was talking about this cut and butt technique. So that's why we're trying it. Hopefully it works out in our favor. All right, well, we're kind of coming along here. I've got this shaped around that there. We've got a little bit to do up in this area. It's kind of warped right now because I've got it kind of jammed down in here. I've got this cut, and the reason I have this piece right here cut out is because, well, this was dented, but it's supposed to be an angle. If you can kind of see on this side, that's right here. This is like a flat angle, and that is for clearance. The exhaust actually runs right kind of up in this pocket, and I discovered that because I was kind of tapping this back down in, and I could hear a tinging sound. Well, I look under there, and that's kind of where the exhaust runs. So I cut that out. Once this pan is actually down where it's supposed to be, I'm just going to put an angled piece straight across here to create the clearance that we need. But overall, not doing too bad. We got this corner in nice. Obviously, once we get the original floor cut out, we can get this kind of down where it needs to be and tweaked. Kind of how we want it, but so far, so good. And this obviously will come down once, you know, this corner is tight here. That needs to get moved a little bit, which will bring this front portion down. Yeah, it's coming. And then this piece here, you can just use a body hammer or whatever and kind of shape that to the original piece underneath. So we'll probably do that before we cut the old floor out. And we're going to take some measurements also on how deep that floor is. Luckily, we kind of have a floor over there also that will help. But like I said, we're only trying to get above, you know, the water line. So I don't know, we may have enough material on this pan, we may not. It just depends how it all sets up once we get it out of there. But you can kind of also see that the way this is shaped, it kind of tilts backwards and then comes back up. So I don't know if I'm gonna have to make a relief cut, maybe somewhere up in here, maybe to get that shape. And then clearly you can see that it ramps up. So yeah, we're kind of gonna work on shaping some of this pan and keep on going. All right, some updates. So I'm not going to run this section across here. We're actually going to come here down a little bit off of this line here and then come across, because this is all really good steel underneath here. So we're not going to mess with that. We're just going to basically off the corner of this pillar come over up and weld it along here. This section up here is in the brace that's underneath the floor. Over here is not, but that's what the structural of the ribs and all that's for. Let me show you this. Once I push this down flat against the old floor, I've got a line drawn just so we know for reference. Same over here. This pushed down where it needs to be. It's basically shaped in there at this point. So I guess from here what I'm going to do is not cut on the lines that I made, but cut, you know, an inch or so below them all the way around to leave extra here. We are going to be a little bit short down here in the corner. We'll have to add some because this is rotted clear up here, so we'll just have to maybe run an extra strip across this or something like that and meet down into this pan. Shouldn't be too bad. Or I could add that strip on right now and get that general shape, you know, at a 2 or 3 inch strip. So we'll have to figure that out. I do have it clecoed down in the front, so everything's held in place up there. You can walk, I mean, you can get in here and stand on this thing. It's, you know, it's going to be a solid structure. So also this whole piece here, this is supposed to be straight with this kick up at the end. This whole panel is supposed to be straight and flat. That's how this side over here is. So I mean, it's been kinked and hit, and I'm guessing it was from somebody putting exhaust on it or something of that nature. I'm not exactly sure, but you know, this thing's from 1961, so who knows? So it'll be better actually when we're done than what it was, obviously. So let me dink around some more, figure out what I'm going to cut out of this floor initially, and then I will attempt to show you guys this cut and butt thing. I've never done it, but we can learn how to do it together. So you remember when I told you that the exhaust comes up through this little cavity? There she is. I didn't cut it all the way out yet, but yeah, I got into her just a little bit there. That's okay. Nothing a welder can't patch. Up here, you can see where that brace starts. I did get into that just the littlest bit, but I cut along the edge of it here, and I'm not in it there or nothing. But we're gonna have to be careful doing this section here, down and over, because that's gonna all be on top of this brace, which is good because we want that structure of under our floor on top of the ribbing, because as you can see, this is just a big open hole. Fit your hand to it, and then at least you can kind of see our spot welds back here. There's a couple there, there's one there, might be one there. I think there was one on this corner, maybe not. I'm sure there's about 800 of them down through here, but there's another one. So anyway, we're gonna, let's see, what do I want to do? Where's that brace end? Comes up at an angle across here. You can see that spot weld and that one. So we'll be damn close. Actually, the front of our pan's gonna be on it, and this whole corner of it will be on it. And then we'll have the structure of the ribbing and the step over there. I left this on here for now just because I want to straighten this and then shape ours to it. I'm kind of torn whether to cut our whole strip completely off our pan and fit it separate and then the floor separate and then weld a filler between the two. I don't know, it just seems like a pain, but I just kind of want to make sure we get this front slope right, and with it attached here and here, you almost have to have some sort of relief cut. But I did cut it, you know, almost up to like right here, but that doesn't help us up here. You can see the two different steps. It kind of just rolls down into it here. Maybe I can try to, would that be stretching or shrinking? I don't know, but it might be too far into the pan. I can only reach about 1 3/8 or so. So anyway, that's where we're at. Sorry for rambling, but we're gonna keep on rolling. All right, update time. I know you guys like updates. Okay, here we are. As you can see, we're gonna have to bring that up, and we're gonna have to bring this up. This was one big step I missed doing the front panel. Why I had problems with the welder. Obviously, I was trying to weld the crap steel or dirty steel. This is ish where it needs to be. I ran the shrinker around this corner to pull this metal back because it was kept kicking this way. So I shrunk this corner, which pulled it back, and now that left us nice. So we can weld our piece in and be just fine there. And then we've kind of got this all shaped ish how it needs to be, you know, just taking our time shaping everything in. So I think what I'm gonna do is actually find a little strip and tack it, sorry about the lighting here, and tack it along this edge, and then we'll just cut and butt it up here. And I'm gonna have to do the same back here. There's just, the steel down there is just not great. It's good up here though. So that's where we're at with that stuff. This exhaust, when I hung it, I must have hung it a little high, but there's not a lot of options because it goes through a cavity here. Wasn't really expecting that. Let me take these Pincos out. Get out of there. I'll pull this panel out. It'll kind of show you. I've got a good majority of the floor cut out. Here's our strip that we left here, so we can cut and butt that. And then over here, we just got to figure out, I'd like to do it in this corner, if at all possible, but I don't know for sure yet. So we're kind of working on that. We got to get the shop back over here and suck all this crap out. I tell you what, if you guys want something good to grind out spot welds, go to your local air gas, and they sell these bits. Woo, baby! I tell you what, that just buzzes right through those spot welds. And they come in a little case. They're really not that much, like 30 bucks. And they are carbide. They are by Radnor. They've got all kinds of different shapes, sizes. I got this one with the rounded tip so I could kind of hold it upright, you know, angle it to get spot welds. I've used a lot. I've used it a ton, and it's freaking awesome. So anyway, that's where we're at. That's where we're at. Oh, look at that. I bet I could use that for an extension piece. Huh, I'll be danged. And there's a piece for the back right there. Boom. Anyway, yep. That's where we're at. There's your update. All right, final update of today. We've got our patch panel. That's what I'll call it. We got our additional piece tacked onto our floor. I wanted to get the angle right coming up. And from here, we'll tack this to the actual floor, and then we'll cut it and retack it for the cut and butt. But I'll show you all that crap when we get there. Not too bad. I got to make the extension piece for the back side here, so we get up into the good steel. And then, yeah, we're cooking. We're cooking with, I don't know, canola oil or something. I don't know what people use these days to cook with. I usually am on the smoker or the Blackstone. Anyway, see ya probably tomorrow. All right, more updates. It's been like 7 days since I've been down here traveling for work and stuff, but we've got that back piece set in, side piece over here, and the corner. And what I found is if you shrink the bottom and stretch the top, it'll make it like a rainbow, but it'll also cup it this way, which is kind of what I did here. And same with this. I think I misspoke earlier. I was shrinking it, not stretching it. But anyways, you can kind of see how that's all fit in there. So yeah, I mean, really, we got to just get all the rest of this all kind of welded up. And then we got to fool around over here. This side's kind of stupid, so it's kicking my butt a little bit. You know, this side needs to obviously suck down. I could probably Cleco that. And then kind of work this side in, but we are making progress. All right, another quick update here for you. She's all welded up, kind of knocked down some of the welds, and you know, still fits pretty good. This will suck in. Tomorrow night, I'm hoping I'm gonna try to mess with this corner a little bit over here, and we might start doing the old cotton butt, so I can show you that, guys. Anyway, show you that, guys. That even makes sense? No, not really. Alrighty, folks, we're back at her. Oh, making little tiny bits of progress. You know, we're just gonna turn this into an entire year process here. So I've got it Clecoed in over here on the sides. I did a little extra trimming down here around the B-pillar, just to make sure that our floor goes down flat against the brace underneath. Same up here, just kind of, you can hear it hitting the floor. The brace, I mean. Got a Cleco back here in the corner, and I've got a couple of marks here, right there and right there. And basically what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna buzz the old floor straight up and down on both of these areas. That way, when I'm doing the old cotton butt, God, my brother just told me that guy's name. Fitzee's custom, whatever, Fitzee's garage or Fitzee's fab or something like that. His name's Fitzee though. So if you want to check him out, go do it, because he's a smart feller. I believe his brother's name is Peter. I don't know, last name might be Fitzee. But anyway, we're gonna go ahead, we're gonna buzz these two sections here, leave this corner, and we're gonna start the old cut and butt probably over on this side. And that way when we get to here, we can peel that backing out and get rid of it, and this piece will now be welded flush into this piece. And then, since this corner is going to be a little bit trickier, I wanted it just a short section to peel out. I didn't want to try to bring this entire piece all the way around. So we're going to work our way from back to front, because we've got more leniency up here. You know what I mean? If you started up here and had this all tight down and you ended up short back here, yeah, that's a problem. Up here we can deal with, back there we can't. So that being said, let me pull this pan back out. I'll buzz these two lines here quick, and then maybe I'll be able to show you Fitzee's cut and butt. All right, step one, I'll try to get you guys here to where you can see what the heck I'm doing. We're gonna tack about every, I don't know, inch or two, maybe 2 inches. We're gonna tack the new floor to the old floor. So let me fire up the welder and we'll start. Make sure you've got your gloves on. You don't want to do like my brother and weld with no gloves. All right, and now we can run down the side here. All right, there's step one. Now this next step is going to be tough with the position that I have to do this in. We're going to go through and cut these. We're going to start down here. We're going to cut that weld, push this piece in to be flush with our original floor, and tack it in. And then we'll cut this one, push it into our original floor, tack it, if that makes sense. These tacks here are just basically just placeholders. They're just holding this in to this piece here. So we can probably actually take our clecos out because everything's tacked in now over here anyway. Maybe. And now we don't have those in the way while we cut this and weld it in, if that makes sense. All right, for this first cut, we got to use the little guy, just because we're up tight against this B pillar. So I'm gonna go ahead and start cutting this, and when we get her through far enough, we're gonna bring her up to this next weld. We're gonna give ourselves enough room basically for the other welder, and I'm gonna try to cut it down at like a 45-degree angle or so. That's kind of what Fitzee was talking about, getting the angle, because it helps flush the panels. So rather than just plunge cutting it straight in, cut it at an angle, and then you have a little bit tighter of a joint. So let's go ahead and get this cut. So now you can push that in. I don't know if you guys can see that. Let me try to get you a better shot at it here. Hopefully you can see this. But now that that's cut away behind it, you can push this panel in flush and weld it, right? And then you come up here and do the next one. So we're gonna tack it back here so we don't recut it. And then once we get that pushed in and welded flush, we'll cut this one and do the same thing, if that makes sense to all y'all out there in the YouTube world. So let me kind of struggle a little bit here, getting this pushed in tight. Oh. Sorry about that. I popped the old cleco up here in the front. She let go and sent you guys flying. That's okay, that one was just kind of a placeholder to start with anyhow. All right, so that part there is tacked in. So let's cut this next one, and we might actually use this guy one more here, just because we're still kind of close to this B pillar. Should be able to reach back here behind this. Nope, it already fell to the ground. There you go. There's your piece that you cut from behind it as you tack your new floor in to the new piece. So let me finish clipping this in up to this corner, and yeah, we'll have this side mirrored in. You can see there's a little bit of a gap, which is okay. That's, you know, just gonna help us weld it in. So there you go. There's the old cutting butt. Hopefully y'all got something out of that anyhow. Yeah, let me push this in and weld it up. Pretty fancy stuff. Pretty fancy stuff. So yeah, that's all you do. Just work your way all the way around it using that method, and pull your piece out from behind it. And that way you don't have to try to, you know, line it all up perfect. You know, cutting it or whatever. So yeah, not much else to say about it, I suppose. That's gonna finish this one. I just wanted to show you guys a little bit more of the rear floors. A couple of you guys asked for it. This is just kind of how I'm doing it, and we wanted to try out this cut and butt technique. That's the first time I've ever done that, and I mean, it's pretty slick. It's a winter wonderland again. That poor Plymouth just hanging out there in the frozen tundra. But anyway, we definitely appreciate all you guys that come back week after week to watch this channel. It's you know, we have a great time doing it, and as long as y'all are enjoying it, we'll keep on it rolling. So that's gonna end it for me on this one. I'm gonna keep working on these floors, and I know Matt's got some pretty good stuff coming up on that C10. He's just fighting them bedsides. Look at us both doing sheet metal work. I don't know how that happened, but oh, it's terrible. Anyway, like, share, subscribe, do all the good stuff. We'll see you in the next one.